Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for May 14th to 21st. My goodness, I can't believe we're already in the second week of May. I'm hoping that you're all well, wherever you are. I invite you to just take a few deep breaths, pull your energy into the present moment so that you can receive this information well and allow it to enter you deeply in whatever way is most serving of your highest good. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I'm here to do a reading for the benefit of our collective group energy. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information that is most needed right now, and to provide that in a manner that is easily and effortlessly heard, understood, and integrated for the highest and greatest benefit of each individual listening, as well as our collective experience. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening now and in the future to be present, to facilitate this exchange, and to bring through whatever it is that is needed to be addressed at this time. I'd also like to invite the four archangels to come and hold the four directions around us across time and space, creating a beautiful sacred container of light, of love, of healing, of transformation, of anything that is in our collective heart and mind at this time. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. I thank you for coming. We set the tone for ease, for clarity, for transformation, for healing, for empowerment, for deep discernment, for wisdom, for all that is in our collective heart and mind at this time. May we address it for our greater good. Anything that doesn't match these frequencies is welcome to go now. Alrighty, let's see. What is it that we need to know for the week? Happy new moon, by the way. We just had one in Taurus. Taurus is a wonderful sign having to do with earthly pleasures, enjoying the beauty of life, enjoying the finer things in life, taking great satisfaction in beauty and enjoyment and good food, good company, all the good things of life. It's the energy of Taurus. So I encourage you to get out there and enjoy the beauty of life, of nature at this time of year. It's the most splendid time of year. Certainly here in the northern hemisphere, we're having a glorious spring. To the best of your ability, spend time in it, please. It's good for you. Spending time in the sun and letting the information from the sun come into you and heal you and align you. It's all good stuff. Okay, so what do we need to know this week for our collective highest and greatest good? What distinctions and discernments do we require? Okay, here we go. The recent past, the influence is waning, but it continues into our present and into our future. And here we have the card of the Magician. It's a very intentional card. So you see the Magician is pulling the water up from the ground, and is in the background here we have a butterfly, which represents transformation. And we also have this incredible castle in the background. So the energy of the Magician, or the higher octave of the Magician, is concentration. It's this capacity to pull ourselves into a state of focus. And as a result of that, we are able to co-create whatever it is that we're wanting with life. It takes us being involved. We need to participate. It's very important that we learn to focus our energy, our minds, our intentions in the direction that we want them to go. And this is what the energy of the Magician is all about. It's this powerful summoning or gathering of one's resources and focuses and keeping it intent on what it is that we want. So this is a major arcana. It has to do with soul growth and evolution. It's sitting in the recent past this week. So this focus, this card, the energy of this card continues into our present and into our future. But it's this idea of staying intentional, staying focused on what it is that you are wanting to create in the world. Keep that going in your field so that as we go forward into the future here, this is underlying the energies of where we're going. The present energy is the Death card. And lots of people are afraid of getting this card because they think, oh, death, the end. But death is really just another word for transformation. It's a profound transformation. The end of one cycle and the beginning of a new one. Down at the bottom here, we have those, what look like cocoons. And so we know that, Probably a caterpillar feels like it's dying, but it ultimately is transformed into a butterfly. So this idea of transformation, of profound transformation, of being in this energy of change and allowing ourselves to work with it, letting go of what was and moving towards what it is that we want to create. It's a lot of endings right now, and I think we're going to see even more of it. We're actually moving towards a lunar eclipse this month, and eclipses are pretty intense energy. This is also as I understand from Pam Gregory, this is also the time of a supermoon. The moon is closer to the planet at this time, so there may be higher tides than usual, that kind of stronger energy. But because we're mostly water, the moon does have an influence on us as well. And so this energy of change, of transformation, there's other layers to the astrology at this time. This is sort of things that were hidden coming to the light, things that are out of integrity falling away. I mean, that's a constant theme now for the next while. But definitely the next month or so is supposed to be pretty intense in that regard. So many of us are experiencing personal endings in our lives, and collectively we're going to be experiencing similar things. So just being aware of it and not going into a fearful place, understanding that things have to end for new things to come. The old has to go for the new to be born. This is part of just the cycle of life. You think about how trees and nature does it. There's always this cycle of growth, of development, of fruiting, flowering, fruiting, and then the seed falling, and then the decay of the plant, and it becomes part of the resources for the next level of growth, the next layer of expansion and growth. So it's important to keep that kind of context aware in us, like letting the old go, not clinging to it, and allowing ourselves to move gracefully into the next phase of life. 2 major arcanas. That's pretty good so far. Next card we have here is work. The name of the card is work. It's the 3 of Pentacles. And here we have 2 women carrying a basket between them. And they're having a lovely chat as they go about their day in this meadow of flowers and, lovely things. The Pentacles are all about material resources, but here this idea of collaboration, of people coming together to make the work lighter, to make things go better, to get a project seen through to completion more efficiently and effectively, because 2 is more effective than 1 when you come together with intention, when you come together with focus. It's so much more powerful. So this is sitting in our near future. It's this idea of collaborative energy and of enjoyment of the work that needs to be done, allowing ourselves to savor the experience of that. But it's also an energy of the feminine. We have this pink background. We have the 2 women it's not 2 guys holding the basket, it's 2 women. And it's this energy, as I said, it's very convivial. It's very satisfying and pleasant and enjoyable. This idea of there's work to be done and let's do it together and enjoy ourselves in the process, knowing that we are doing good things. So this is not just in our own experience, but also collectively. We have a lot of messes to clean up on the planet, and there are phenomenal people working on incredible solutions. I mean, the transformation that we're going to see, that we're in the midst of, we're sort of in between the stories. The new threads haven't been picked up yet, but the rate of change and transformation is going to be profound. I mean, humanity has been ready for this for some time, or there's been this sort of feeling of being held back in some ways. It's almost like what's going to happen. And, you pull a slingshot back, it sort of shoots forward very powerfully. There's that sort of energy sitting here with this card, and this idea that with our collective focus and will and intention and the falling away of the old that no longer serves us and getting it out of the picture so that it's no longer clogging the pipes, we can get down to business and make sure that things are happening in a really good way for everyone. The foundation of the reading, why we're having the reading this week. We have the Princess of Swords, which is new beginnings on the level of ideas and action. New inspiration. So here we have a butterfly, and there's these lovely golden orbs flying around, but it's this idea of new inspiration on the level of ideas and action. Perhaps you're feeling called to something, you're inspired by something, you're getting ideas about something. Letting yourself explore those, get excited about those, and ultimately take on a plan of action, or take on some action in the direction of what it is that you're inspired by. Because in this card, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, she's eagerly reading this incoming letter that she's received. She has a very excited and inspired look on her face. This isn't something that she's upset about or distraught about. Rather, she's eager and excited. And that's the energy that we need to look at, is this energy of, are we eager? Are we excited? How do we align ourselves with this in a way that's building momentum for the good, building momentum for more life, more light, more enthusiasm, more inspiration, things that we can all get behind, rather than it being, a structure and an agenda and a system that benefits the few, and it's not very enjoyable in the process. And, life, people live for the weekends. Like, that's just not satisfying. We can do better than that. Or people live for their retirement. I mean, really? Is that all we're capable of? Is that as far as we've gotten? And I think, no, we're more than this. We definitely have the capacity to create more inspiration and enjoyment and enlivenment in our lives. As I said, those old structures need to go. It's going to be scary. It's going to be different. Yes, the familiar is the familiar, and sometimes we cling to it despite the fact that it's not really serving us. But I think in some ways, a lot of this is getting taken out of our hands. It just needs to happen. The collective energy at this time is such that this is going down, regardless of whether we go with it kicking or screaming or enthusiastic. Okay, how we need to conduct ourselves. The Star. All right, third major arcana this week. That's some pretty good juju. Okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that without impolitic. Good energy. The Star. The Star is a wonderful card. The Star is a reminder about source, where we come from. So you see here this sort of, the woman is pouring the water through her hands. It's kind of coming down through her hands and down into this lotus rose-like blossom at the bottom. And the card of the Star, another octave of it, is meditation. It's this idea that when we are receptive vessels, life flows through us and out into us and into life in a beautiful and fulfilling way. The Star is also about our gifts, who we are, what we're here to do, what is the work that we're here to do, and what do we have to contribute. And we come to know these things, again, from a place of reflection and introspection and connection to the broader, wiser part of us. That's the key to so many things in life. That experience of fulfillment and joy and satisfaction comes from our connection to our broader, wiser self. So this is how we need to conduct ourselves this week, is this going within, this connecting to our broader, wiser self in whatever way that works best for you, whether you are a person who likes to go and walk in nature and do a walking meditation and just be in that neutral, receptive space of openness and allowing just that flow of ideas and inspiration to kind of come through you. Or whether you're somebody who likes to sit quietly in a lotus position, or whether you're somebody who likes to do your round of yoga and then your yoga practice and then lay in shavasana at the end and have your receptive moment then, or qigong, whatever it is that allows you to access that open, wide, creative, present state of nowness that is also connected to all that is. That is very, very important for us, as I said, not only to be clear about what's the best way to flow our gifts, but also our understanding of our place here on the planet and what's most appropriate for us in every moment. So the Star, how we need to conduct ourselves, grounding ourselves in our meditation and practice so that we're better able to be channels for the love and the light and the life force that's coming through us out into the world. How others are going to be. Temperance, the fourth major arcana. So the Temperance card, Temperance is all about moderation in all things. It's about balance. I think we've seen this one before, and I always think it's so neat how this person is standing there, the angel is pouring the water of life into their vessel, and the person's like, whoa, it's full. They've got their little hand up. I think that's really hilarious. Anyway, so this idea of being moderate, of being intentional, of being conscientious about where one is putting one's life, one's resources, one's attention, not overdoing anything, but keeping that balanced, whole sort of space coming from one's now moment. I mean, Everything, our point of power is in the now. The power of now, Eckhart Tolle. That's the title of his book, for heaven's sakes. This idea that when we're in our now moment, we know where we are. We know if something's too much. We know if it's not enough. We know if it's appropriate for us. We know if it isn't. This is very much this conscious, intentional energy. We access it in our now. So being in our now is very important. Clearly, it's coming through here. I mean, that's again, the point of power is in the now. So practice being in your now. And this is in the position of how others are going to be. Others are learning how to balance their extremes. They're maybe experiencing extremes so that they can have a clear understanding of what they prefer, which may not be so extreme. That's the gift of extremes. That's the gift of high contrast. We're always a lot clearer about what we don't want, what we do want when we know what we don't want. And so we may be witnessing others going through this right now, having a time of tremendous contrast. And we can't change anything in anybody else's experience because each person is creating their own experience of reality. We're each here co-creating our dance with life. We can be present to each other. We can hear each other. We can support each other. We can offer reflection. We can offer feedback. And we can offer what's worked for us, share our stories. But ultimately, it's up to each of us to make the choices and the decisions about our lives so that our lives unfold in a manner that is to our liking, to our taste. And so as we witness, as we look out into the world and we see this experience of people finding their balance, recognize it for what it is when there's those extreme experiences happening in each other's fields. It comes down to this extreme experience is helping us to understand what we prefer and is guiding us to putting our attention on it. When we know what we want, we can get our energy and our focus, our resources aligned with that. If we don't know what we want, we tend to be scattered all over the place and waste a lot of energy and time and not be very happy. We're a whole lot happier when we are on purpose and on our path. So position of others, and as you go through, because we are the other in other people's experience, as you go through your own experiences of the tempering of who you are, remember that this is part of the journey and that your work is to focus on the good. Your work is to focus on what is the clarity that is coming to you as a result of the contrast of life. Point your boat in that direction. Don't wallow in what is. Point your boat in that direction and be grateful for all the good that you have in your field already. Because again, your point of power is now. When you focus on what you appreciate, life sends you more to appreciate. When you focus on what brings you enthusiasm, when you give your energy to that, life gives you more to be enthusiastic about. You really do get to choose right here, right now. Where's your focus? Where are you putting it? What are you pulling towards you? Looking at what you pull towards you, using that as the necessary feedback for you to get back on alignment with what it is that you do want. And the outcome card this week is the Prince of Wands. And princes are knights in other decks, and knights go charging in and out and all over the place. So there's a lot of momentum with a knight. They're usually heavily laden with armor, and so is the horse. And once they get moving in a particular direction, it's kind of hard to turn the boat. So in this case, we're moving towards this energy of movement, potent movement on the creative level. So what are we being creative about? Where are we putting our creative energies? What is it that we want to attract into our field or make happen? Because when we line up, when we have our ducks in a row, we have our intention and we line our focus up, our concentration, and we let go of what no longer serves us so that we're not dragging our past into our future, but we're here in our present moment. And we look forward to doing what the good work that we're here to do, using our gifts and working with others who are also excited about doing that work to clean things up and make things more beautiful. When we line up with our gifts, we have our connection to our broader, wiser self. So we always have the information that we need in every moment to do what we need to do and to do it well. And we keep balance in our lives. There's like so much information here that helps to guide us towards this experience of fast forward momentum on the level of creativity, inspiration, and passion. So cleaning up your act, cleaning up your life, cleaning up your field frees you to be able to move powerfully forward in the direction of that which is inspiring, generative and uplifting for you in your field, in your experience. And when you're there, of course, you're a lot clearer about what you love and connecting with others who are like-minded. I mean, what is more satisfying than coming together with others and making things happen in a bigger way? There's a lot of good energy with that, or building on each other's inspiration and enthusiasm. There's a lot of good energy around that. So this is the reading of the week. You know, this focus, this concentration, this capacity to bring your attention into your now moment and direct your focus. Very, very important. Our present, this idea of death, the falling away of what no longer serves, the ending of cycles, and deep completion, like not somewhat done, but completely done. Leaving a particular job, leaving a partner, leaving a house, leaving and endings of this sort of nature. It can also mean the ending of life. I'm not wanting to diminish that possibility because it is the death card. And the ending of the physical life, or our human experience, is what we would consider the ultimate death or the ultimate end. And yet there's a cycle of life that continues. Life is cyclical. It doesn't just end. It continues. It takes a different form. It's transformed, but it always, always continues. Life always continues. Remember that. As things change, life always continues in a different form, but the good is still there. The opportunity is still there. It's just different looking. The future, this idea of collaboration, of co-creation, of coming together, making light, many hands making light work, these energies of helpfulness, of nurturing each other, of supporting each other, of enjoyment at the same time. There's a very feminine quality, as I said, to this card. And the energy of it today, this feeling of us working together to solve the problems that we have in front of us, and doing it lightly, helping each other along, and again, many hands making light work, and finding your people, the things that you're here to do, and working together with those people to make it all good. Foundation, these incoming ideas, incoming inspiration, ideas in action, this idea of incoming new beginnings on that level. And those new sparks inspiring us and opening our minds and our eyes and our hearts to new ways of being and doing. Always coming back to the idea of meditation, whatever that means to you, your way to connect to the broader, wiser part of you, your way to plug into the now moment, your way to let go of anything that isn't yours from your field, dropping that, being you here and now, connected to the broader, wiser part of you. That's ultimately what meditation is, because when we do that, we know who we are and we know what we need to do. All of that becomes so much clearer. And then we are much better able to give our gifts abundantly to the world because we're clear about what's appropriate. Temperance, boundaries around excess. This idea of not overdoing anything, which is interesting, when I think about this, because this is the death card. That's profound endings. Temperance is about not overdoing anything. It's looking at life and being balanced about it, being wise about it, not overdoing anything. It's not to say that the balanced approach is an ending. That is definitely possible. But it's the intention that you come at it with, that space of balance within the self, of groundedness within the self, of not overdoing anything within the self, but honoring your connection, which comes from this place, this knowing who you are, which comes through meditation and spending time with yourself. And nature, of course, is a great way to get back into ourselves and who we are. And then, of course, this outcome card, this fast forward momentum on the level of creative energy and inspiration and passion. And who doesn't want to be there? Lit up, excited, and on your path. That's pretty darn cool, pretty darn exciting. So this is the reading of the week. I'm going to pull these back and put them in the deck, and we'll pull our card, the card to grow on, which is our card of summary, a card that will help us to just integrate all of these pieces so that we can make effective use of this wisdom and knowledge in our lives this week in a good way for ourselves and for everyone whose life we touch. So what is our card to grow on this week? What do we need to know from this reading? How do we encapsulate it in a good way so we have a powerful takeaway for the week ahead? Prince of Pentacles. So again, this idea of princes being knights, being sources of movement, of change, of change of direction, a change of energy, momentum. So here, the Prince of Pentacles is telling us there's going to be a change of energy on the material level. And so this week, as you go about things, just finding your peace, your centeredness, so that you can be resilient no matter what changes and transformations happen. Like coming back to that star card, being in your now, being here now, so that no matter what the changes are that are going on in your personal life and in the greater world, you are grounded, resilient, and understanding that it's all part of the bigger picture and it's all going to be working out for your highest and greatest good, because that's the intention that you're holding for yourself. And if it isn't the intention you're holding for yourself, maybe you need to review that and have a new perspective on that. Yeah, Prince of Pentacles. So changes on the material level. All good stuff. And going with that, going with the change, seeing the transformation. Going with the change that feels in alignment with the life that's in your being. Not just any random change, but the change that is in alignment with your inner being, the broader, wiser part of you, aligning yourself with that and flowing with that. It's a lot of need right now for us to understand that we are part of nature, and the energy of this time is about nature pushing us to a new level of awareness and a new level of beingness as humans. And so, you know, the change in the journey that we're on is sort of inevitable. We will get there. And it's up to us to choose how we're going to have the experience. So it's interesting, isn't it? So I wish you a good week of flowing with the change, of moving easily and effortlessly with the change, of integrating that change into your life so that you are more comfortable and happier and fulfilled and moving in the direction of your heart's desire. Creator, this is your daughter, Titania. I want to thank you for the opportunity to do this reading this week. I ask that you be with each and every person who is listening to this now and in the future. Help to ground them within themselves, within the wiser, broader part of them, their connection to all life everywhere. Ground them, help them to feel held in a good way, to be reassured, to be comforted, and to be, from that place of comfort, resilience, wisdom, discernment, moderation, knowing what to do with one's life force and energy in the face of that which is ending, moving in the direction of one's highest enthusiasm, going with what life is guiding us towards. I ask that you be with us and help us to see this, to open our hearts, to open our eyes, and help us to be in the present moment, responding to life rather than reacting. I am so grateful to do this work. I am so grateful to all those who have held this space today for us, across time and space, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you on this call. I'd just like to add, if you liked this video, if this reading has been supportive of you, please click subscribe and like. And I also encourage you to share with others who may be helped by this. It's my intention through this week this reading is to be of service. And so if you're able to share that and it helps others, fantastic. That helps me to achieve my mission. Much love and light, everybody. Have a fabulous week, and I will see you next week.